Jermain, what's your last name?
Gibbs.
Gibbs?
G-I-B-B-S.
Okay. All right. Whatever you do, don't like turn left or right because you're gonna be right out of the frame. All right. So it is a distinct honor and privilege for me to be interviewing the man, Mr. Jermain Gibbs. Jermain, tell me a little bit about yourself. Where you originally from? Bring me up to speed.
Born and raised in Baltimore City, from Emerson Village.
Okay.
41 years old.
Okay.
Photojournalist is my specialty, even though I love wedding photography and everything else. But photojournalism is the one type of photography that kind of took over my passion.
Okay. Cool. Stay there a moment. I'm going to shift because I don't like your eye placement because I'm too high.
Okay.
I need to come down either on your level or just shift to the side here.
Okay.
So it's like a side interview. There we go. So you look at me here.
Gotcha.
Okay? All right, I'm going to start over.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr. Jermain, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
My name is Jermain Gibbs from Baltimore City, Emerson Village, born and raised. Photojournalist, even though I love all types of photography, photojournalism has won me over as my number one choice of photography.
So you've had the unique opportunity of traveling the world, sharing your gift of capturing moments and capturing stories from here to Ghana, some of the places I've seen. You recently published a book. 2016 has really been a special year for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've actually did mission work in Ghana and Accra and Kumasi, where out of that came a small documentary and my book, Through My Lens Ghana. I had the opportunity to go to Hyderabad, India, and actually teach teenagers photography for about 14 days.
All right, very nice. So coming up in Baltimore, let's wind back a little bit. Coming up in Baltimore, growing up in Emerson Village, what was your school life like? What was like your school life like? Middle school, elementary school, high school. What was that like for you? Would you want to be a photographer?
Actually, no. So actually, I used to always want to be into acting and modeling.
Okay.
So I played around with that for a little while. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Played around with the military, a little bit of everything. But in elementary school, I was very quiet, stayed to myself, very observant. I paid attention to everything that was around me. Middle school, I was the class clown, just making everybody laugh, loved to make people have big smile on their face. And then once I got to high school, I caught it to see that I started going in a different direction, more so like I seen me as a business owner and different things in that nature.
So the entrepreneur bug caught you.
Yeah.
You kind of bit you and that type of thing. So when did you pick up the camera?
So I was gifted a camera when I was about 8 years old.
Okay.
And I was the little kid that always walked around with a camera and always was taking pictures. At that time, it was 35 millimeter with the film, so I would run to Rite Aid to get the film developed, and then they would like come back in an hour, in 40 minutes. I was like, is it out yet? And they say, no, not yet. And as soon as I wouldn't even make it out the door, I would open it up and just start going through the images, and I was just like, wow, just amazed at the pictures. And that was, the quality back then is on a whole different level, but the advantage we have now is we can take the picture and actually look. Back then you had to kind of know what you was doing, or you just was taking a roll of film and maybe get one good shot.
Wow. So, doing it as a hobby versus doing it as a full-time profession, when did you know? When was your kind of that pivotal moment for you to know that this is something I can make a living at?
So probably about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Because actually to me it was just a hobby. I just showing up, taking pictures, and people like, man, you're really nice. You should be charging people. And I was like, no, I just like doing it. It's not that I'm trying to make money. And then I said, okay, well, just give me $40. And I started out doing $40 photo shoots, and then just advanced. And then God opened a couple doors, and I seen things on a whole different platform. And I was like, wow, because growing up in Emerson Village, you think the only successful people are sports athletes, lawyers, doctors. Nobody ever heard of a photographer that was making a living and just doing that full time. So I never thought about doing that when I was a young child.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I know that story all too well. Um, so there will be young boys, men, mothers that are watching this interview, and their sons haven't quite figured out what they wanted to do. Similar to you and I when we were coming
Right.
up through school, you know, we have an idea of what we think we want to do, but something kind of grabs you. What would you say to that young man or that young mother who is trying to point their son in the right direction? What would you share? What would you share with them from looking at it from where you are now?
I would definitely say we have to enlarge our way of thinking first because we have to take our mind out that the only way we can be successful is by what we see or what we hear in the front line on media, social media, TV, and all that stuff, and just start thinking on our own. Like, okay, man, I'm really good with drawing. How about I start creating a cartoon and find a network to put it on and get it out there? But we sometimes hesitate on that because fear, which is a dream. The number one dream killer is fear. But when you actually, start writing your plan out and start executing every day you wake up, that you step out there and do something towards your dream, and you put the work in and pick God first, a door will open up for you. But the thing is, when that door open up, will you have enough faith to step away? Because it may mean stepping away from your full-time job. But so the thing is, will you have enough faith to step out and believe in yourself? Because everybody else can tell you, oh, you're going to be successful, you're going to be this and that. But if you don't believe it yourself, it'll never happen. So the number one thing is to pick God first. Number two, believe in yourself, love yourself, invest in yourself. Because a lot of people want to be successful, but they don't want to put the work in or the money, because to be successful photography, it takes a lot of sacrifice, giving up your time, giving up your weekends, and just a lot of money. So you have to be willing to invest in yourself.
So I look at this as no different than a basketball player, a doctor. They have to put the work. They put the work in when no one else is watching.
Exactly.
Right. So now that they can have the success that they have today, we happen to see them when they're already successful. But the reality of it is a lot of hours of practicing, a lot of hours of just again, doing the behind the scenes work so that one day it will be seen. Obviously on the big screens, doing what it is that you do that you love. Let's talk about fulfillment, man. When you're out there capturing moments and telling stories and doing photojournalism, how does it make you feel as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a man? Because I think you can be successful, but not all successful people are fulfilled, right? And that's why they're always searching around looking for something new. How does photography fulfill you as an entrepreneur, as a man?
Photography fulfills me in so many different ways. Like for instance, when I'm doing a family shoot, sometimes we get so busy and caught up in everyday life that we don't take the time to spend time with the family other than at weddings and funerals. So when you bring a family together to do a family photo shoot, it's just kind of bring back that love, and it's like, man, we got to do this more often, and other than just doing at weddings and funerals. And then sometimes when you're just doing portraits, like people like, oh, I don't think I photographed well and all that, but then you take that image and show it to them. And when you see that smile on their face, it's just like they just turn into a whole different person. So the same person you started out with 5 minutes into the shoot was super shy, but now you don't even have to tell them because they just going right into the different poses. Capturing wedding is just like telling a love story. And you don't have to use words. It's just a powerful tool to be able to see the love there and just to act like you're a dot on a wall and you just pretty much following a couple rounds for the day. And then when you show them the final product and just to see the enjoyment, they want to share with their friends. I mean, that's a huge fulfillment.
Absolutely, man. So, part of this, the series is called, bearded, basically bearded, black men from Baltimore, right? So, when did you decide to, let your beard grow out? I see you got the, you know what I mean, a little bit of the salt and pepper. You know, when did you allow it to grow out? And did you have a moment? Well, I'll ask the next question. So, you know, when did you allow your beard to come out?
So actually, probably about 2 years ago, because
Okay.
I was totally against it. I tried it one time and I would let it get a little bit, and I was like, this ain't me.
Right.
And then over the last 2 years, I just been growing it, and it was like, nah, I've let it grow different lengths, but I actually love it. And first, I think sometimes it's the mindset of how people will accept me when I go into these corporate jobs. A black man, yes, I'm well dressed, but he have a beard, and sometimes because what the media and social media put out there is just put a nasty taste in people's mouth. So at the end of the day, it's a great thing for the corporate client to come to me at the end of the day. It was like, man, you was very professional. You showed up on time. You got the job done, and I can tell from your movement that everything, the pictures, the images are going to be exactly what we want because we was just watching you all day. So it's just like, the same person that was like had that nasty taste in their mouth now is understand that just because I have a beard doesn't mean that I'm not going to give you the same quality as someone that come in here with a clean shave.
Wow. So let's talk about that. You know what I mean? The perception, the stereotype of black men with beards. I get a chance to, because I obviously have a beard too, I get to change the perception of the minds of people who hire us all the time. Because again, they do have the stereotype in their mind as to, you know what I mean, if you come in with dreads, if you come in with beards, you know what I mean, maybe the quality of work may not be as good as, if I hired maybe someone else, or whatever the case may be. Growing out your beard and seeing the expressions on their faces of the people that are hiring you, that possibly might have had maybe a stereotypical mindset before you came in. What does that feel like for you as a business owner and as a man?
It makes you feel a certain kind of way, to be honest. But what it does is actually put you in the mindset where I gotta go in here and I gotta let them know, just don't judge a book by its cover. There's no difference between me and a clean shave guy. The only difference is I just decide it's only hair. So I go in there and I put in my 110% to let them know and let them see like it's no difference between me and him. It's just a beard. But we just get so caught up in the way someone looks without even them opening their mouth or even seeing their work. Or you may have seen their work, but for some reason you still have that mindset where, oh, I'm a little skeptical of how it's going to come out. Or even some of the people that may be coming when you're doing these big corporate events and you have other corporations coming in and how they may perceive like, oh, what kind of person this company is because they brought in this guy with a beard. Where smile, be friendly, have conversations, let them know, hey, don't let this beard fool you. I'm a professional all the way around, inside and out. I'm gonna get the job done. I'm gonna make sure the quality of work is beyond to your standard. And then in turn, I know you're gonna call me, and not only that, some of the people that's here work that you invited here for your event, they're gonna call me.
That's amazing, man. So, if you could give yourself, just totally off the cuff, if you could give the younger Jermain, that young guy that's in that portrait right over there, if you could give a younger Jermain a piece of advice, what would you give him, knowing what you know now?
Believe in yourself. The number one thing, because I second guessed myself a lot of times when I was younger because I didn't believe in myself. Sometimes when you grow up in the urban society and you see, I came up in an era where crack cocaine started getting real popular, and you just see that all around you. It kind of can bring you down. It's like, I don't know, how am I actually gonna be able to make it out of here or not? So that's what I would say, believe in myself.
The last thing I would say is this: how can people get a hold of you? How can people find more about the book? How can people find more about Jermain Gibbs, your photography, your services, and that type of thing?
So on Facebook, I'm Jermain Unique Eye, and that's one word, Unique Eye. On Instagram, I'm J_Unique Eye. Instagram, same thing. Twitter, J_Unique Eye. My website is www.otbphotography.net, or you can email me at info@otbphotography.net.
Perfect, man. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.